Hello everyone! In this video, we're going to go over the Book B, Unit 6 Vocabulary Words, numbers 1 through 30. Let's get started! Our first word is agree. Agree is a verb and it means to have the same opinion or feel the same way. For example, I agree with my friends about most things. So when you agree with someone, you are saying that you think the same thing that they do. In that situation, you can use the word agree. For example, your friend might say, I think that tigers are the best animals. And you can say back to them, I agree. I also think that tigers are the best animal. Our next word is amusing. Amusing is an adjective and it's something that is entertaining or funny. For example, Maria told an amusing story. The synonym of amusing is funny, so you can imagine that amusing just means something is funny. For example, if you look at this picture, there is a bear and the bear is riding a boat and fishing. I think this picture is amusing. When you find something amusing, maybe you are laughing about it or you think it's really fun. Our next word is arrange. Arrange is a verb and it means to put in an order. For example, Joe arranged his books by author. Here in the picture, you can see the girl and her mom are arranging the books and the toys. They are putting them in order. When you arrange something, usually there is an order to it. I wouldn't put just any books on the bookshelf. I would put the books that start with the letter A together, and then the books that start with the letter B together, and then C, and so on. Or maybe I would put all the books that are the same color together. That way I arranged it in some order. Arrange can also have one more meaning. It can mean to make plans. So, Mrs. Gomez arranged a birthday party for her son. She made the plan for the birthday party. You can also use arrange to say that you are making a plan for something. Our next word is avoid. Avoid is a verb and it means to keep away from. He always tries to avoid hard work. He always tries to keep away from hard work. Do you think that this is a good thing or a bad thing? A person who always avoids working hard. I don't think it's a very good thing. So you can use avoid in a negative way, or you can use it in a positive way, such as this. You should avoid touching your eyes, touching your mouth, and touching your nose with your hands. Or if you want to avoid getting sick, don't shake hands with other people. Or don't touch other people. You can use this word avoid to say that you want to keep away from something. Our next word is bear. Bear is an adjective, and no, I'm not talking about this bear, the animal. The spelling is different, so please be careful. This bear, B-A-R-E, means that something is not covered. So in this picture, you can see the boy's feet are not covered. So these are his bare feet. His arms also are not covered by a sleeve. So he has bare arms. And in the winter time, we can say the trees are bare. The trees are not covered by any leaves, so they are bare. Do you think it's a good idea to walk outside with bare feet? Why or why not? Our next word is boast. Boast is a verb and it means to talk with too much pride or to brag. Like this. She boasts about her musical talent whenever she has a chance. Boast is not a good thing to do too much. I think we all boast sometimes, but you shouldn't boast too much. For example, these two friends are sitting together and talking, but this girl keeps talking about all of her things. She keeps talking about the new makeup or the new shoes or her new bag. She is boasting to the other girl about her things. Maybe she's saying, wow, my bag is so amazing, or my shoes are so beautiful. And this girl, how do you think she feels? She looks a little bit tired or a little bit annoyed. Maybe she doesn't want to hear about these things anymore because she doesn't have them. When someone boasts, they are saying that they have something that is better than what you have. If this man says, wow, look, I got this fish, and then this man says, yeah, but my fish is bigger and my fish is better. Now he is boasting. He is boasting about his fish, so his friend might feel upset or sad. So try to not boast too much. Our next word is brisk. Brisk is an adjective and it means active or full of energy or quick. For example, he took a brisk walk around the town. Something that is brisk is very fast. Maybe this woman went outside to have a brisk walk. Just a very, very quick walk. Or we can also use brisk to talk about something that is cold but refreshing. For example, the brisk morning was perfect for an early run. So, brisk, again, can be doing something for a short amount of time, very quickly, or something cool but refreshing, like there was a brisk wind today, or my lemonade was brisk. Our next word is community. Community is a noun and it's a small area where a group of people live. Let's look at the example. A new store opened in my community. Community is similar to neighborhood. It's where people live. And in your community, there's many things that people need to live in a community. For example, there are schools, there are hospitals, there's post office and fire station. Every community has these special places so that people can live there together. That is called a community. And to use it in a sentence, you can say something like this. We went to the park in our community. Or, our community has a great school. Or even, the supermarket in our community has many delicious fruits. So you can make an easy sentence like this. Number 9 is the word cruel. Cruel is an adjective and it means willing to cause pain or suffering, not caring if you hurt someone. Someone who is cruel is not a good person. This girl here, she is taking care of the plants and planting new things. But this girl here, she is breaking the pots and knocking it over. She is cruel. She is hurting something and she doesn't care that she hurt something. The same thing here. This girl is taking care of the tree and giving it water. But here, she is kicking it and breaking it. She is being cruel. And the last one, this girl is taking care of the puppies and giving them food and petting them. But this boy here, he's chasing the poor puppy and riding on it with a pen and chasing it with a stick. This is very cruel. So we should not act in a way that is cruel. It's not a good thing to do. Can you think of any times when someone you know was being cruel? Maybe you can make a sentence like this. The cruel girl knocked over the plants. Or, please don't be cruel to animals. Our next word is drowsy. Drowsy is an adjective and it means nearly asleep, like almost asleep is drowsy. For example, he felt drowsy after dinner. Whenever you feel very sleepy, instead of using the word sleepy, you can say, I feel drowsy. For example, I feel drowsy when I'm in school. Or, I feel drowsy when I am doing my homework. Or you can switch it this way also. My homework makes me feel drowsy. Just remember that drowsy is something that you feel. So many times we use the word feel or past tense felt together with the word drowsy. Our next word is effect. Effect is a noun and it means something that happens because of something else. For example, if you look at this picture, this boy is jumping in the mud and then he had to take a bath. Taking a bath is the thing that happened. It is the effect. Remember it says here, effect is something that happens. And what made this bath happen? Why did he have to take a bath? This is called the cause. Jumping in the mud made him take a bath. So if you want to make a sentence with this, you can say it this way. The effect of jumping in the mud is that you must take a bath. Or let's look at this example. This boy is eating a lot of candy. That is the cause. But what is the effect? If you eat a lot of candy, what is the effect? So you can make your sentence this way. The effect of doing something is something. The effect of eating too much candy is that you will get many cavities. So you can make a simple sentence like this using the word effect. Our next word is famous. Famous is an adjective and it means recognized by or well known to the public. Something that is famous is something that everyone knows about. If they see it or if they hear the name, then you will know about it. You can use it in a sentence like this. That man is a famous actor. Or just something is a famous something. For example, maybe you recognize this person here. His name is Yo-Yo-Ma. And he is famous because of his cello. He is a musician. So when I'm making my sentence, I can say Yo-Yo-Ma is a famous musician. Do you recognize any of the other people in this picture? Can you try making a sentence? Our next word is feast. Feast is a noun and it is a large meal with many different types of food. We usually have feasts on special days such as Thanksgiving or Christmas or maybe even on someone's birthday. Is there a time where you had a feast with your family? For example, on Chuseok, I have a feast with my family. Our next word is gentle. And gentle is an adjective and it means that you are not intending, you don't want to cause pain or trouble to people or animals. You are kind. For example, the veterinarian was gentle with the sick cat. He was very careful and kind with the cat. When you're using this word gentle, you can say something was gentle with something. So, for example, the nurse was gentle with the baby. Or the woman was gentle with the grandfather. Something was in a very kind way with something else. We can also use gentle to talk about something soft, not hard or violent. For example, a gentle breeze blew through the leaves. Or the nurse spoke in a gentle voice. The next word is hero. Hero is a noun, and a hero is a person who has courage and who is a model for others. For example, people said the firefighter was a hero after he saved someone from the burning building. So a hero, of course, can be someone like a firefighter, but a hero can also be anyone that you think is a good person. Number 16 is instead. Instead is an adverb, and it means a different option to the first choice. For example, I don't care for the mountains, so let's go to the beach instead. Or you can make a simple sentence like this. Instead of blank, let's blank. This is an easy way that you can make your sentence. Instead of riding the elevator, let's take the stairs. Instead of taking the car, let's take the bicycle, or let's ride the bicycle. This is instead. So you don't want this first choice, you want the second choice. Our next word is leader. Leader is a noun, and a leader is a person who directs or guides others, or who has the most power in a group. For example, he was a strong and powerful leader of the army. The leader is the person who is the top. They have the most power. They are telling the other people what they need to do. And to be a leader, there's some qualities that you need to have. You have to be kind. You have to be smart. And you have to be prepared. All of these things make people a good leader. Can you think of anything that would make someone a bad leader? What if someone was selfish? What if they only cared about themselves? Would they be a good leader? So when you are making your sentence, I want you to think about what makes someone a good leader. When you're writing your sentence, you can say, blank makes someone a good leader. Our next word is march. March is a verb, and march means to walk with steady, regular steps together with others. When you are marching, usually you're walking with a group of people. For example, several bands marched in the parade. Here is a band. They are playing their instruments and they are walking together. This kind of walk is called a march. So I can say, the band is marching. When you're making a sentence, maybe you can say, the band is marching, and then where? On the street would be a good sentence. Or march can also be used to talk about the army. This is also march. The army is marching together. They are walking in regular steps at the same time. This is called marching. Next word is measure. Measure is a verb and it means to find out the exact size of something. For example, he measured the room before he bought a new rug. When we measure something, we need a tool to measure it with, something that has numbers on it to give us the size. So you can use a ruler to measure, or you can use this measuring tape to check the size of something. So when I measure my item, I will know exactly how long it is. To make a sentence, maybe you can say, I used a ruler to measure blank. Or I used the measuring tape to measure blank. Our next word is moist. Moist is an adjective, so we can use this word to describe something, and it means a little bit wet. For example, I used a moist towel to clean the baby's face. This is what we call a moist towel. Or I can use moist to talk about food. I can say, I enjoyed eating the moist cake. It was not dry, it was a little bit wet, but in a good way, not in a bad way. I didn't put water on my cake. It's just the cake was soft and the filling here was moist, a little bit wet. Our next word is necessary. Necessary is an adjective and it is being something that you must have or must do, something that is needed. For example, the things that we need to survive are food, water, shelter, and clothing. These things are necessary. If we don't have these things, then it's difficult to survive. Another example is food and water are necessary for life, and a TV is not really a necessary thing. So when you're writing your sentence, can you think of something that is not necessary? For example, blank is not necessary to live, or blank is not a necessary thing. Our next word is notice. Notice can have two meanings, and it can be a noun or it can be a verb. Let's talk about the noun first. A notice is a written warning, news, or a sign of something. Here in this picture, you can see the man is looking at this board on the wall, and on the board there is a paper with some information. This paper is called the notice. So this notice will tell you something. The notice said that we must wash our hands before touching the animals. That is the noun notice. The paper or thing that gives you information is a notice. But notice can also be a verb, and it can mean to see or observe something. For example, here, maybe you can say, I was walking down the street and I noticed a coin on the floor. Or, if you're talking to your friend, you can say, I noticed that you wore a new shirt today. Did you buy that shirt recently? I didn't notice it before. I only noticed it now. Did you notice that there's a mosquito on this page? Can you find it? Oh, I got it. Don't worry, I noticed it. Our next word is predict. Predict means to say ahead of time that something will happen. For example, they predicted that it would rain today. They said it ahead of time. They didn't know that it really would rain, but they made a guess that something would happen. When you make a guess that something will happen, that is called predict. You predicted something. So, to use this word in a sentence, you can think about something that will happen in the future. For example, I predict that we will have flying cars in the future. Or, I predict that we will go to Mars in 10 years. What's something that you predict will happen in the future? Our next word is prefer. Prefer. Prefer is a verb and it means to choose above all others as the best liked or the most wanted. When you prefer something, it means you like it more than the other thing. For example, he prefers carrots to all other vegetables. Let's look at the pictures here. Which do you prefer? Do you prefer pancakes or do you prefer cereal? If you like pancakes more, you can say, I prefer pancakes over cereal. Or, which do you prefer? Do you prefer cake or pie? If you prefer pie, if you like pie more, you can say, I prefer pie over cake. I like it more. So in a way, it's on top. It's over the cake. Our next word is rescue. Rescue is a verb and it means to make someone safe again, to bring out of a dangerous situation. For example, here, the firefighter rescued the boy. He saved the boy. Maybe he saved the boy from a burning building. Or in this second picture, this boy wants to rescue the cat, so he climbed up the tree. But now the boy and the cat are both stuck in the tree. So who will come and rescue them? I think that mom will come and rescue them. Our next word is search. Search is a verb and it means to try to find something by looking with care. You're carefully looking for something. For example, I searched everywhere in my room for the missing earring. I looked everywhere for that missing earring. When something is lost and you need to find it, you search for that thing. Or we can also use the word search to talk about computers. When we want to find some information, we can search on our computers or our phone for something. Our next word is shame. Shame is a noun and it is something that you feel. Shame is a painful feeling caused by knowing that you have done something wrong. When you know that you have done something wrong, how do you feel? You don't feel very good, right? That feeling is called shame. For example, she felt shame after lying to her friend. When you lie to someone, you don't feel good, you feel shame. Can you think of any other ways to use shame in a sentence? Our next word is tricky. Tricky is an adjective and it is a way to describe someone who often lies or hides the truth. For example, it is hard to trust a tricky person. And of course, the opposite of tricky is honest, someone who always tells the truth. So, in this picture here, do you remember the story of the gingerbread man? In the gingerbread man, there was a fox who was very tricky. The fox tricked the gingerbread man into jumping on his back. That way, he could run away from the people that were chasing him. But the fox was really planning to eat the gingerbread man. He was being tricky. So he was a tricky fox. Remember, we are using the word tricky as an adjective. We are not talking about the verb trick or tricked. So when you're making your sentence, make sure that tricky is being used to talk about the noun. Do you know this game here? This is a tricky game because it's difficult to follow the ball when all the cups are being moved around fast. Do you know any other games that are tricky? Or do you know any other characters that are tricky characters? Our next word is volunteer. Volunteer is a noun, and a volunteer is a person who offers to work or help without pay. These people here are cleaning up the park, but they will not get any prize for cleaning. They will not get any money for cleaning. They are cleaning because they want to do it. They want to help. In that situation, we can say they are volunteers. Here too, the volunteers are cleaning up the beach. They will not get any money. They will not get any prize for their work. They are doing it because they want to help their neighborhood, or they want to help their community, or they want to make the earth a cleaner place. That is called a volunteer, a person who does something for no money. And our last word is weak. Weak is also an adjective, and it means having little strength or power. For example, I felt weak after being sick. Or, we could hardly hear his weak voice. So you can use this word when you want to talk about a time that you did not feel strong. This is a good way to start your sentence. I felt weak when blank, or after blank. When is a time that you didn't feel strong? And that's all for this video. We went over the Book B, Unit 6 vocabulary words numbers 1 through 30. Thanks for listening and see you next time. Bye!